Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome for those who are watching this video. Today, I'm following up on my series of video that I've been having since last week on the 15 invaluable laws of growth from John C Maxwell. Today, I would like to focus on why we are not experiencing the life that we would like to have and why we're getting the result that we are having in our lives. Of course, most of the time people look at external factors to explain why their life is not moving ahead and why they're getting the result that they're getting. But the reality is, you're not getting the result that you want. You're not moving into the life that you want because of the image that you're holding about yourself. So today we'll be looking at the image, your confidence, your self-esteem, which usually play a key role in you achieving your dream and achieving your potential and living the life of your dream. So we'll be focusing today on the law of the mirror from the 15 invaluable laws of growth by John C Maxwell. The first statement that is made on this chapter is you must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. And that is self-explanatory. Because if you don't see value in yourself, how can you add value to yourself? You only add value to yourself and you believe that you are worth the investment if you see value in yourself. Personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. You need to understand that for you to grow, to develop yourself, you need to see that you deserve, you are worth the effort, the time, and your energy. Now, when we look at this chapter, he had a very amazing and very interesting story about a young lady called John C Maxwell. She grew up in a very abusive environment. She was abused emotionally, she was abused physically, and she was abused mentally. And she even ended up being on the street and she got pregnant with two kids. But at age 30, she made a big decision because decision is what is needed when you need to make change in your life. So she made a decision that she will no longer live like that. She will go back to school and get a degree and then get a great job so she can be able to show her kids that they can have a better life. So she basically wanted to be a role model. And when she made that decision, in fact, she went back to school and she managed to complete a degree. And she also managed to get a great job and she lived the life of her dream. But in the process, she realized that the image that she was holding about herself was not the right image. She was holding an image of someone who was worthless, someone who was a nobody, someone that could not achieve anything in life because of the environment, because of the people that were surrounding her, and because of the people who were pretty much like a role model. But she had to make a decision, and the decision helped her to see herself from a different perspective, to hold a different image about herself. Now, in the book and in the chapter on the law of the mirror, John Maxwell made a very interesting statement. He says, self-esteem is the single most significant key to a person's behavior. Anyone and everybody behave based on the image that they hold about themselves. Whatever you think you are, that is going to drive your behavior. And he even quoted Zig Ziglar, who says, it's impossible to consistently behave in a manner inconsistent with how we see ourselves. No factor is more important in people's psychological development and motivation than the value judgment they make about themselves. So we always judge ourselves. We make judgment about who we are, and that's determine the way we behave. Every aspect of their life is impacted by the way they see themselves. If you believe you are worthless, then you won't add value to yourself. Because most of the time you see people don't investing in themselves, like buying books, attending seminar, or learning new stuff, because they don't think they're worth the investment. They just believe that the way they live their life, it's okay. But they're still struggling. And the same people keep complaining. But they're not willing to invest in themselves to improve their life. So low self-esteem puts a ceiling on your and my potential. And he even say, well, your self-esteem has the same kind of impact. If you desire a 10, but your self-esteem is a 5, you will never perform at the level of a 10. You will perform as a 5 or lower. People are never able to outperform the self-image. Let me repeat that. People are never able to outperform the self-image. So the image that you're holding about who you are determine how you're going to behave. If you feel inadequate to face challenges, unworthy of love or respect, unentitled to happiness, and fear assertive thought, want or need, if you lack basic self-trust, self-respect, and self-confidence, your self-esteem deficiency will limit you no matter what asset you possess. So meaning whether you have enough money in your bank account, whether you are sorted, you dress nicely, it's not gonna do any good to you if you don't believe that you are worth. And I'm sure you came across you come across people like that they have everything, and materially they are sorted. They have all the reason why they should be confident, but they still lack confidence, because your confidence does not come from the material things that you own. Your self-confidence comes from you believing in you. So it's basically an inside job. If you want to improve your self-confidence, you must believe in you being worth, being someone that deserves to invest in himself, and believe that you have what it takes to achieve whatever you set your mind into. Most people live their life according to what others believe about them. Isn't that true? If the important people in their life expect them to go nowhere, then that's what they expect for themselves. And of course, that can work if you surround yourself with the right people. People who are like-minded, people who believe in you. But imagine surrounding yourself with people who don't believe in you, who keep putting you down, who keep telling you things that hurt. Now, how are you going to believe in you if you allow those people to determine your success, to allow those people to determine how far you can go with your life? And he says you shouldn't become too concerned about what other people think about you. You should be more concerned about what you think of yourself. Because at the end of the day, if what other people were saying could hurt you, could kill you, you could have died, or I could have died. But the reality is, whatever people say does not really matter. But what really matters is what we're saying to ourselves. What is this running conversation that we are having with ourselves? Then he says, if you put a small value on yourself, rest assured the world will not raise the price. Meaning, if you don't believe that you are worth the salary, you are worth the payment for the service that you are offering to the society. The society will not raise the bar. People pay you for the service that you offer as long as you demonstrate that you are confident enough that you know what you're talking about. Now, he talk about the step to build your self-image, your confidence, your self-esteem. The first step is you need to guard your self-talk. What is this running conversation that you are having with yourself? What are you actually saying about you? He says, whether you know it or not, you have a running conversation with yourself all the time. What is the nature of your conversation? Do you encourage yourself? Do you criticize yourself? Imagine you already have so many problems. We all have many problems. Imagine you adding to that, criticizing yourself. You're not doing yourself any good. I will tell you one story that happened to me. When I talk about this chapter, I'm so passionate because I also had issues when it comes to self-esteem. I remember one day going through a job interview. I was interviewed, I even was offered the position. But still, I even signed my offer letter. I went back home. At that time, I did not have my permanent residence. I did have another permit that the South African Immigration Office issued to foreigner because I'm based in South Africa. Now, with that document, I had some restriction. I couldn't travel abroad, but I could work in South Africa. Then, because I had issues around my self-esteem, I called my future boss to explain that I had this paper and I think it's gonna be a challenge for me to work for you. Then she looked at me. She actually told me on the phone. Actually, she said, "Well, what is the issue, Didier? If the paper that you have can allow you to work, so why are you worrying?" So you can see where someone can actually self-sabotage himself. Because people who have issues around confidence, self-esteem, usually end up self-sabotaging themselves. So learn to pay attention to your self-talk. What is this running conversation that you are having with yourself? Make sure that this conversation is aligned with what you want to achieve. It's aligned with your goal. He even says that, by the time you are 17 years old, you have heard no, you can't, an average of 150,000 times, meaning from our younger age up to age 17, most of the time we have been told no by either our siblings, our parents, 150,000 times. Can you believe that? But we have only been told yes 5,000 times. That's why most people have issues around their self-confidence. So he says if we want to change our lives, we have to change the way we think of ourselves. If we want to change the way we think of ourselves, we need to change the way we talk to ourselves. And the older we are, the more responsible we are for how we think, talk, and believe. Don't you have enough problems in life already? Why add to them by discouraging yourself every day with negative self-talk? So it doesn't help you. It doesn't help me to have self-negative talk. He says you need to learn to be your own encourager. You need to learn to be your own cheerleader. But that is something that you need to create. It's a discipline. Learn to cheer yourself up. Learn to say positive things every day. Wake up in the morning. Make affirmation about who you are and who you see yourself becoming. Is the second step, stop comparing yourself to others. Because there will always be someone who's going to be ahead of you. So it doesn't help you to compare yourself to others. Because when you compare yourself to other people, what you do is either you believe that you are superior to other people, or you believe that those people are more intelligent than you, while this is not correct, because every single individual that have been put on this earth has been asked and assigned a specific purpose. So find out your purpose. Find out why you are on this earth. And that goes back to the law of awareness that we've discussed before. Comparing yourself to others is really just a needless distraction. And he's right. And he says the only one you should compare yourself to is you. Your mission is to become better today than you were yesterday. Keep improving, keep becoming better. And you do that by focusing on what you can do today to improve and grow. Do that enough, and if you look back and compare the you of weeks, months, or years ago to the you of today, you should be greatly encouraged by your progress, as long as you keep growing. The third step is move beyond your self-limiting belief. We all have self-imposed limiting belief, because sometimes when we want to do something, we don't believe that we have what it takes to do it. And those are self-limiting beliefs. And he says the way a lot of people think about themselves, they don't believe that they can accomplish great things. But the greatest limitation people put in themselves are usually the one they impose upon themselves. And he even quote a great guy called Charles Schwab, who says, when a man has put a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what he can do. So learn to get beyond your self-limiting belief. Now, how do you do that? Identify a limiting belief that you want to change. Determine how the belief limits you. And decide how you want to be, act, or feel. And create a turnaround statement, like a daily affirmation, to state what you want to become. The fourth step, add value to others. The reality is, when you focus on others, you take your focus from you. You stop focusing on you as a person, on your problems. You're now focusing on others, seeing how you can add value to them. And by doing that, you feel good, and it helps you to build your self-esteem and your confidence. He says, making a difference, even a small one, in the life of other people, lift one's self-esteem. It's hard to feel bad about yourself when you are doing something good for someone else. So understand that you focusing on helping other people, you're definitely going to feel good, and it's going to help you to build your self-confidence. The fifth step is do the right thing, even if it's hard to do. The reality is, when you do something that you know it's not aligned with who you are, it's not aligned with your value, it's not aligned with what you want, you usually feel bad. And that will definitely impact on your self-esteem, your confidence. So make sure that when you do things, you do the right things. Things that are aligned with your value and principle, and your dream and your goal. The sixth step, practice a small daily discipline in a specific area of your life. By that, I meant decide every day, either exercise in the morning, do it in a consistent way. Decide to either engage into an activity like reading a book every day for an hour. Just the fact that you keep yourself disciplined help you to improve your self-confidence. The seventh step, celebrate small victory. Many people don't have the habit of celebrating victories. Whatever they achieve, they look at it and they take it for granted. Learn to celebrate small victory and learn to cheer yourself up. The eighth step is embrace a positive vision for your life based on what you value. If you have a positive vision for your life and you take action to fulfill that vision, then you will more readily recognize that your life matters. Because if you understand your purpose, you understand why you are on this earth, and you take action toward your purpose, your calling, you realize that you matter. So whatever you do matter because you're making a difference in the life of people. You're living a life of impact. The ninth step is practice the one word strategy. Use one word to describe who you are. And goes back to the daily affirmation. Use words that describe the person that you are. Confident, achiever. Those are words that define who you are. And then the last step is take responsibility for your life. No one else will take responsibility for your life. Be strong and courageous enough to take responsibility for your life. That helps you to build self-confidence. And then he says, we tend to get in life what we are willing to tolerate. If we allow others to disrespect us, we get disrespected. If we tolerate abuse, we get abused. If we think it's okay to be overworked and underpaid, guess what will happen? If we don't have a plan and purpose for our own lives, we will become part of someone else. And that is the truth. You have to understand that whatever result you have in your life today is you who create those results. But you can only change those results by taking responsibility. Now, in terms of takeaway, or in the law of the mirror, he says the first thing you need to do, make a list of 100 things regarding your personal qualities. Write down, take a piece of paper, write down 100 good qualities about you. That will help you to realize how good and how great you are. The second thing, you have to keep guarding yourself from your running conversation. Make sure that you monitor the conversation that you have with yourself every day, and ensure that that running conversation is a good one. You're cheering yourself up. You're saying something positive. And number 3, value other people. Remove your self-interest. Look at adding value to other people. For example, look for a charity or look for some activity that you can do on a weekly basis where you're giving and adding value to other people. That can be that you go to a place where they are orphaned, where you're helping them or bringing food. But that by itself will help you to improve your self-image and your confidence. So this is pretty much what John Maxwell recommends us to do. Hold the right image about yourself. Believe in you. Then you should be able to look at you as a great masterpiece. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share on the law of mirror. As a closing remark, I think in the beginning I did not introduce myself. My name is Didier Mbayo. I am the owner and founder of a company called Lead Influence, and I'm a John Maxwell certified coach, speaker, and trainer. And for those who would like to find out more and who need some help in that area when it comes to helping them to build the self-confidence, anyone who wants to improve the self-confidence can reach out to me. My email address is didiermbayo@leadinfluencepty.com, or you can go through my Facebook page, which is Lead Influence, or you can check my website, which is www.leadinfluencepty.com. Thank you very much and enjoy your weekend.